Alright guys, just Saiyan here, back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And today we're going to be looking at the Super Saiyan 2 transforming into Super Saiyan 3 TUR Goku, who I think released about a year ago. He released during the previous New Year celebration, which we are about to get that in a couple weeks on Global and JP, hopefully. Fingers crossed we can get that Beast Gohan Orange Piccolo or like Cell Max Dokkan Fest, but that might be a little bit of a stretch, but that's just me wishing for superhero stuff. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be doing a showcase on this guy. This guy did release about a year ago, like I said, and he did release in that kind of wonky time where the 200% meta was right around the corner and power creep was heavily impacting the game. So the fact that this guy kind of survived that area or that kind of space and managed to still be a very useful unit even now, I think says a lot about his kit. Same goes with his counterpart, the STR Kid Buu, who I did already do a showcase on, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link to that on the screen or something. But yeah, I mean, still just overall a really good unit, so I figured we could do a showcase on him today. We do have him on a 200% leader skill. We're going to have a lot of links active. We're going to run him next to the Spirit Bomb Goku, who I believe he shares 6 out of 7 links with. And then we got a lot of support going on too. So just overall, really good showcase for him. So yeah, but before we get into it, just make sure you guys like and subscribe. Keep in mind there's timestamps in the video, so if you want to skip to the Legendary Vegeta event showcase or the Red Zone test, absolutely feel free to do that. And I mean, yeah, with all that said, let's just get right into his kit. So starting off with his leader skill, it is Battle of Fate or Accelerated Battle, category Ki plus 3, HP plus 130%, and then attack and defense plus 170%. So unfortunately, he does only give 130% to HP, so that does kind of suck, but like I said, he released right before the 200% meta, so unfortunately, he did not get a 200% lead, so he is only at 130% to HP, but I mean, it is what it is. It's still kind of a good leader skill. And then onto his super attack effect, he raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes immense damage to enemy, and then has a medium chance of stunning. So the stunning is really good for Super Battle Road, and the attack and defense is really good, especially because this guy has built-in additionals. So the more additionals you do, your defense just starts to rack up. But on his passive, he gets Ki plus 2, and then 180% attack and defense. He gets an additional 50% attack and defense when performing a super attack, and then he launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack, and then he has a high chance to perform a critical hit. So this is actually really good. We got built-in crits. We have a built-in additional that has a medium chance of becoming a super. So that is the way we like seeing it, to where it's a guaranteed additional that has a medium chance of becoming a super. So that'll help proc his hidden potential system additional, which this guy is physical. So he has that base 5 additional. And I do suggest you go full additional with this guy. How many times can I say additional? I do suggest you go full additionals with this guy because he's getting so much defense on his super attack that it really just helps rack up his defense. So if you put him in slot 2 or 3, wait till he supers, you'll just be insanely high on defense. I'll say that. So really good right there. His active skill condition is that it can be activated when HP is 77% or less, starting from the 3rd turn from start of battle. So this isn't really the best condition, but it's not really horrible either. It's kind of just in the middle. But for sure, it's pretty cool that it's only from the 3rd turn. Usually, characters that have HP restrictions like this, it's like the 4th or 5th turn. So you can do a little bit earlier with him than with most units. But keep in mind, you might have to go through some hoops just to get this activated with this guy, because you do want to make sure you can transform with him as early as possible, because this guy he's just a beast when he transforms. So starting off with the super attack effect, he greatly raises attack and then raises defense for 1 turn, causes immense damage to enemy, and then has a medium chance of stunning the enemy. So he keeps that medium chance of stunning, which is really good because, as we just said, this guy can transform on turn 3. So you might even see this transformation in Super Battle Road sometimes. And if you can get the transformation in Super Battle Road, you can still have that chance of stunning the enemy, which the amount of additionals this guy is doing, I think you got a pretty fair shot at getting that stun off. So really good with this super attack effect right there. And then moving on to his passive, he gets Ki plus 3, and then he gets 200% attack and defense, which is a very big start of turn buff. And then he gets an additional attack and defense plus 50% when performing a super attack. He launches 2 additional attacks, each of which have a medium chance of becoming a super attack. And then he gets an additional attack plus 50% when attacking, and great chance of performing a critical hit for 6 turns from start of turn. And then he gets that high chance of performing a critical hit starting from the 7th turn. So for 6 turns, you get that 70% chance to crit, and then after that, it does drop to a 50% chance, which, I mean, honestly, with the amount of damage this guy's doing and all the additionals, I don't really think a 70% chance to crit down to a 50% chance is really going to make that much of a difference. But the 50% attack, for sure, it does kind of suck he loses that, but still, I mean, just a lot to unpack here. In total, he is getting 400% attack, not including the attack he gets from his super attack effect. And then he's getting 350% defense, not including the defense he's getting from his super attack effect. So honestly, just a lot right here. Or no, 250% defense. My bad. 250% defense. Because 200 plus 50 is 250. I can do math. But yeah, so really good really good passive effect right there. Honestly, I think this guy's going to get some really crazy numbers and just look really impressive. So moving on to his links and categories. So right here, I know these links say level 1, but that's just a glitch in my private server. They are still level 10. So he has Sand Warrior Race, Super Saiyan, the Saiyan Lineage, Kamehameha, Over in a Flash, Limit Breaking Form, and Fierce Battle. And then I just want to show his links pre-transform because they are a little different. Instead of these 3 being the other ones, they are Golden Warrior, Prepare for Battle, and Experienced Fighters. So, I mean, I think his link set is probably just a little bit better pre-transformed, but I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I mean, Kamehameha is still really good, so the fact that he gets that is nice. Over in a Flash is pretty good. And Limit Breaking Form isn't really too common, but I mean, a lot of Heroes units have this, so maybe you could try and get that active with them. But pretty good when it comes to links. And then when it comes to categories, he's got a ton. I won't talk about this for too long, but he's got Battle of Fate, Majin Buu Saga, Pure Saiyans, Super Saiyan 3, Transformation Boost, Goku Family, Kamehameha, Super Saiyan 2, Turtle School, Mastered Evolution, Bond of Friendship, Accelerated Battle, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, and then Bond of Parent-Child. So a really long list of categories right there. So, I mean, again, I'm not going to talk about it for too long because these are really good categories for a unit. I mean, stuff like Pure Saiyans, Kamehameha, Bond of Parent and Child, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Goku Family, they're all really top tier categories. And a lot of the categories on here that maybe aren't as impressive, they really just need a good 200% leader skill, and then they'll be crazy. So, really good when it comes to his categories. We got no equipment on here, unfortunately, because can't really do anything about that. It's a private server. He's a spread between additionals and crits, which I don't know. I guess I could see you doing that, but honestly, I suggest you go full additionals with him just so you can really maximize, or you can really capitalize on all the defense he's getting on super attack. So, I mean, yeah, with all that said, let's go ahead and cut to when we are in the Legendary Vegeta event. Alright, guys, so we are here in the Legendary Vegeta event. We've got a pretty solid opening rotation. Not really the best, actually. We don't have any support, and we're only going to have 3 out of 7 links active, but I mean, it's still not horrible, right? 3 out of 7 links is for sure something. And start of turn, we're at 173k defense, so that might not seem the craziest to you, but you got to keep in mind we get that 50% on super attack, which is going to put us at like almost 300k, right? And then after we get that 30% that we get on our super attack effect, that would shoot us at well above 300k. And then if we get the additional that we do have built in, right, we could get to around 400k defense. So around 400k defense after we super attack that's pretty good. I mean, that's not horrible, but you got to keep in mind we're doing other stuff too, because we have the medium chance to stun, and we also have the 50% chance to crit. So whatever attacks that we do right here, we do have that 50% chance to crit. So 4.1, yeah, not really the craziest. The animations look pretty clean though. But not really the craziest. We did end up getting the crit for 4.5 million damage, and we did get the super attack, or the additional super attack. So defensively right here, we are around 400k defense, which is pretty good. I would say around 400k defense with 2 super attacks, both over 4 million, each of which has a 50% chance to crit. I would say that is pretty good. That's for sure some good damage, but maybe defensively that's a little on the lower end. I don't know though. I still feel like that's not horrible. For sure, there are units that probably are doing worse than that released around that guy's time period. So, I mean, could be a lot worse. But you do got to keep in mind, again, he did have that medium chance to stun. So in an event like Super Battle Road or something, maybe he would not even get hit at all. If you got like the additional, you stunned, and then you killed the enemy, and then you got an additional on another enemy, stunned them, and then bam, you're just not taking any attacks. Because most of the Super Battle Road stages, you're only fighting like 1 or 2 enemies. But of course, there are a lot where you're fighting more than that. So honestly, it really just depends where you're taking him. But yeah, I mean, still pretty impressive. But on this next rotation right here, we're going to have a little bit of support. And I think we're going to have like experienced fighters active now, right? Yeah. So we get experienced fighters active with Pycon. And we are going to have the support with Pycon. So we're just overall looking a little bit better right here. And start of turn, we're at 192k defense. So once again, post super attack, we're going to be around 400k, or well, yeah, I mean, we're going to be around 400k defense again. Probably a little bit higher than 400k though, just because our start of turn defense is a little bit just better because of the Pycon support. So, I mean, still pretty good right there. I would be curious to see what his attack stat is going to be at because, I mean, you know, we got that 50% chance to crit, and we also have that 30% chance to do an additional super. So, I think before he transforms, the main thing that stands out with this guy is probably his damage. Because his defense is good, but it's not really going to get you too far in difficult events. I mean, 400k defense. Maybe if you've got type advantage, you could get away with having just that, but I don't know. But yeah, 5.3. So 5.3, but you got to keep in mind a high chance to crit and a 30% chance to do an additional super. So really good right there. We ended up doing 4.1 million damage, which is that's pretty good in terms of damage. That is a good solid amount of damage. But we also really didn't have that many links active right there. So, I mean, on a rotation with better links and maybe just more support, we could probably start to get to some crazy numbers. Because right there, we only had the support from PyCon. So if we had double support and just more links active, we could probably push well over 200k startup turn defense. And then once we get 200k startup turn defense, then we start looking pretty good defensively. Because after we get all the super attacks, we could probably push 500k. Which 500k defense might not seem insanely high to you, but that is still pretty good because even in some difficult Super Battle Road stages, or not Super Battle Road, in some difficult, well, yeah, I mean, Extreme Super Battle Road and Red Zone events, as long as you have type advantage, you could run 500k defense. 500k defense is still very viable as long as you have type advantage, but keyword, type advantage. I mean, you have to have type advantage with that because if you don't, you could get destroyed. So, okay, well, ooh, right here we can transform, but I'm actually going to hold off on it. I'm going to wait just to showcase this rotation right here because we have 6 out of 7 links active, so we're only missing Sand Lineage, and we do still have the support with the PyCon, which it's going to kick in at the end of the turn, so we're not going to be able to see it right here, but just keep in mind he does still have it. So yeah, we'll showcase this rotation right here, and then we will go ahead and transform with him. But I just want to show this really quickly, so... the Spirit Bomb Goku with a 2.2 million attack stat. Man, this guy needs an easy A. Honestly, he really just needs an easy A. Because we need to hit up the Android 13 movie again, right? You could give this guy an easy A. You could give us another Dokkan Fest. Okay, so 5.4. Yeah, about the same attack stat. So maybe I really probably should have just transformed with him right there. But I guess it is what it is. But we did get the crit off. Because we've been getting pretty lucky with crits this run. Which is actually kind of surprising. Normally, I don't get all that lucky with that. But... hey, I'm not complaining. I mean, a crit's a crit, right? We're just doing more damage. But yeah, I mean, defensively, I just think maybe he's a little on the lower end. But I will wait till we are transformed with him and all that to see really how crazy he could start to look defensively. So, all right, we took a lot of damage right there for sure. But I mean, it's okay. We're still alive. I guess that just guarantees we will for sure be under the HP threshold to transform. Oh yeah, we are for sure under 77% HP. We're at like 21% HP or something. Actually, wait, let me see, because we're pretty low. If we get supered, we okay, yeah, so we're basically a little under 30% HP. So if we get supered, are we dead right here? No, we're not. Oh, okay. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, 200k starter turn defense. So you do got to keep in mind, though, we pretty much got that because this guy is giving a lot of defensive support. But 200k starter turn defense is pretty good. But let's see what that jumps up to when we transform because, I mean, his stats just skyrocket once he transformed into Super Saiyan 3. Honestly, this still looks pretty good, too. I mean, I know it's only like about a year old, but I like it. It's pretty flashy, but it's nothing too crazy. It's pretty, you know, just simple and straight to it. But anyway, so right here we are only 3 out of 7 links because his link set does change. So we do have a little bit less links active right here. Yeah, because this guy doesn't have Kamehameha, so we're not going to get Kamehameha active. But we will go ahead and pop a Ghost Usher because I don't want to die right here. And so let's see, starter turn defense, we're at 206. Okay, so that's not the craziest, but you do have to keep in mind he gets that 50% defense when performing a super attack. So just that in and of itself is going to jump this guy up to 300k. And then after we get the 30% defense from our super attack effect, so that would shoot us to a little under 400k. And then honestly, we still could do 2 other super attacks after that. And if we get like really lucky and get 2 after that, we could be pushing like 600k defense, right? especially if we get the hidden potential system additional, I think we would be over 600k defense. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy. 600k defense plus, depending on how many supers we get, is insanely good. But you have to keep in mind, it's that level of defense also with this attack stat. Which, I mean, considering we can do 3 of these right here, and we have a 70% chance to crit, whatever we do right here is going to be good. I mean, this could be a 4 million attack stat, and it would still be crazy. But yes, 6.3. And also, he is greatly raising attacks, so the more attacks he does, or the more supers he does, just the higher it's going to get. The attack stat, that is. So, we did not get the additional super right there, but we are getting the crits off. Okay, so wow, we did not get a single additional super. So, unfortunately, right there, we were only around 400k defense, which, I mean, that's not really the craziest either. Pretty much the same thing with the pre-transformed version. Around 400k defense is kind of good. I think maybe you just want to make sure when you're at that level of defense, you have type advantage, because you would be able to tank normals with that level of defense against a hard-hitting enemy that you have type advantage against. But, I mean, maybe you would still take a little bit of damage with supers. But like I said earlier, it really just all depends on what event you bring him in. So, yeah, but, I mean, still, honestly, a pretty solid showing right there. Considering we could have gotten a lot more just attack in and defense if we got the more super attacks. I would say that is pretty good, but okay, right here we have attack support, which we did not have on the last rotation. So our attack stat actually probably should be really good right here. But we did drop a little bit in terms of defense because we lost 10% defensive support. So we are down to 198k defense start of turn, which I guess that really goes to show you that this guy is a slot 2 this is a slot 2 or 3 unit, because 198k defense start of turn is horrible. That is so bad. That is like, you cannot run that in slot 1 at all. I mean, maybe if there's no attacks and before he super attacks, but other than that, that is really, really bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and get. I really don't want to do that much damage, because if we get like all crits, all additionals, we might kill, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna trust we don't go crazy right there with the Spirit Bomb Goku. But yeah, I mean, again, 198k start of turn defense. We've got 35% support from the Gohan in slot 3, and we do still have 3 out of 7 links active. So, I mean, yeah, not really the greatest start of turn defense, but again, depending on how many supers he gets right here, we could skyrocket to, I mean, because we're a little bit lower defensively right here, we wouldn't be at like 600k defense, but if we get a bunch of additionals, we still could be pushing 600k. We would probably just be like a little bit below it. But wow, 6.5 million damage on a crit. And we did get the other super for 7.8. So, yeah, that's a lot of damage. 2 supers, both over 7 million, each of which have a 70% chance to crit. That is really, really good. So, yeah. I'm going to show one more rotation of him nuking, just because I like nuking with units. You know, it's fun. And then we will cut to a red zone stage. I'm thinking about bringing him versus Omega, right? Stage 7 of the GT Bosses Red Zone, because the final phase is in, and while that guy might not hit as hard as some other Red Zone stages like Broly or the Metal Cooler Core, I still think he's at least in the top 5 hardest Red Zone fights. So seeing if this Goku could tank double digits against him, I think would still be a pretty good test, but you do have to keep in mind that he does have type advantage against the Omega, so it is kind of in his favor with that. And he would be doing a lot of damage. I mean, I would assume he would do a couple health bars, depending on how many supers he gets. But, I mean, looking at my luck with supers, I don't know if we'll do that many extra additional supers. But we will for sure get the crits, because we've gotten lucky with crits. But, okay, we are dead right here. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just cut to when we are in the red zone stage, and I'll just nuke there. Alright, guys. So, we are here in the GT red zone stage versus Omega Shenron. And we do got a pretty good rotation right here. We do have him next to the Bird Goku from the Worldwide Celebration. Forgot his name for a second there. Sorry about that. We have 3 out of 7 links active, so we are missing a couple links, but I mean, it's not really too big of a deal. The links aren't necessarily crazy. It's not like he has any like big bad bosses links or anything like that. So for sure, pretty good when it comes to that. We are at 195k defense start of turn, so around the same kind of defensive stat we've been out throughout the video. So not anything too crazy, but we are going to nuke right here, so we are for sure doing something a little bit different. And as you can see, Omega Shenron's health is, it's a couple health bars down, and all I'll say is Gamma 1 and 2 are crazy. But anyway, so we are going to be able to get 12 key spheres, so not really crazy, but not really horrible either. 12 key spheres is still really good, and I'm assuming we're still going to get a really high attack stat right here. I gotta pop this really quick too. Keep in mind though, this is an artificially enhanced rotation, so this isn't really contributing to the unit's performance. This is just kind of fun and just cool to see. So before we super attack, we took 105k defense from a normal, which is, I mean, that's a lot. But we did over a 10 million attack stat right here, and keep in mind we have a 70% chance to crit, and we have those 2 additionals incoming that have a 70% chance to crit as well, which we did not get a single additional super, so we are still taking a little bit of damage right here. But keep in mind, if we got an additional super attack right there, I think we probably would have easily tanked double digits from him, which, I mean, you know what? I don't know. I don't think Omega Shenron's going to be able to survive next rotation. I was going to say let's try and get one more rotation in, but I don't think Gamma 1 and 2 are going to do, like, not that much damage. I think they're going to destroy Omega Shenron. So that might be the last rotation we see of the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but we did see that he did take a little bit of damage if he only gets 1 super attack off, but for sure, if we get those double supers and those triple supers and even the 4 supers, if we get the additional from our hidden potential system, we still could be looking really, really good. So, I mean, yeah, we killed right there too. So, all right, well, I guess that has been the run. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think of this Goku down in the comments. Let me know if you think I've been a little too harsh on him or too nice on him. But just keep in mind that at the end of the day, it is all my opinion. So just take it for what it's worth. But yeah, that has been the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.